I think it's pretty safe to say that by far, one of the most exciting elements of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker so far is exactly how both Rey and Kylo Ren will be utilized in this story by director J.J. Abrams, Chris Terrio, and even creator George Lucas. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what I like about Episode 9 is that this film really is going to demonstrate Kylo Ren's endgame at the very end of this movie, and exactly how that's going to work, as well as Rey's path to building a new order, either a new type of Jedi Order or something completely new at the very end of this film. So, on top of all of this, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this movie, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting between both Anakin Skywalker and Kylo Ren, and even Darth Vader. Now, specifically, shot descriptions consisting of a sequence based in the first act of the film where it's explained that Kylo Ren is kneeling down to a large Darth Vader statue and looking up at it, where Kylo is said to be making a promise to Vader's legacy in his mind. It's said that eventually one of the sequences takes place in his chambers, where it's in his sleep, similar to Anakin Skywalker from Star Wars Episode 3, where he is said to have a nightmare where he hears the voices of Anakin Skywalker just as he turned to the dark side of the Force, and dialogue of him yelling at Kenobi, taken directly from Revenge of the Sith, that is said to be very faint in the background. Now, the scene is said to serve as a parallel to what Anakin went through to show the audience that JJ plans to make Kylo a mirror image of Anakin Skywalker in the upcoming film. Additionally, it's described that one of the scenes involves a moment in which Kylo is holding a palm-sized hologram of when Anakin was reporting to Palpatine that he has killed all the Separatists. It's said that Kylo has been trying to uncover all the clues of exactly how Anakin became so powerful and stayed with the dark side for decades as Darth Vader. So let's go over a couple of parts about this, because this is a very exciting side of Star Wars. We do know that Kylo Ren is going to be fully inspired by his own grandfather, Anakin/Vader. Within the first act of this movie, we're going to see a lot of relics that belong to Anakin and Vader in Episode 9, including his charred armor, the broken lightsaber hilt of Darth Vader, and more. So I want to go over this nightmare. Now, this nightmare is said to be very similar to what Anakin went through in the Revenge of the Sith film, and we actually get to see that moment in the first act of Episode 9 in the opening scene on board of Kylo Ren's Ravager ship, which, by the way, is said to be a Star Destroyer far larger than that of Snoke's Supremacy as seen in The Last Jedi. So, the one thing that I want to go over is how they took dialogue from Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, of Anakin Skywalker either yelling at Kenobi or delivering dialogue, generally speaking, and they used that as a way to really kind of make the nightmare for Kylo Ren a bit more dramatic, where Anakin's voice is said to be very faint in the background. Now, what I like about this also is that it really does remind me of the prequel trilogy. Yes, we somewhat got this in The Last Jedi, where Kylo Ren was in like a deep sleep, and, you know, Luke Skywalker was hovering over his shoulder about to kill him, almost. But that was basically, you know, somewhat different. It wasn't quite the same as a nightmare, per se. This scenario, Kylo Ren is in his sleep going through a nightmare and experiencing the voices of his grandfather Anakin. Now, I want to go over the Darth Vader statue. Now, this is said to be the authentic Darth Vader statue. At least one of them that was taken from either the Dark Acolytes that the Knights of Ren stole or somewhere else, where he's actually kneeling down to the Darth Vader statue and looking up at it, and providing a promise to Darth Vader's legacy within Kylo Ren's mind. So, we do know that Kylo Ren really honors his grandfather. He loves the fact that he comes from this bloodline that's so powerful through the ways of the dark side and the Force itself. And I think that's a very interesting side of Kylo's mindset. You know, he probably looks at Han Solo as just a normal person and doesn't want to associate himself with Han Solo. And that's exactly why I think he had, I guess you could say, more feelings toward his mother Leia. Maybe not just because it's his mother, but also because she does, in fact, have that connection to the Force itself. I think Kylo feels that connection, you know, between that and his mother, that there's something else there that needs to be explored. So, with that being said, we do know that this film is going to take a lot of risks, a lot of twists and turns will be applied to this movie, such as, you know, really going through all the different parallels in this film by JJ. I love it. I think it's really great, the fact that he's really drawing a lot of elements from the prequels and inserting that into The Rise of Skywalker. So, the last thing I want to touch on here is, of course, we do know that Anakin is the true face of the Star Wars franchise. I think a lot of you guys would agree, because he is the man who ultimately becomes Darth Vader. I mean, he is the man who literally started the Skywalker bloodline as we know it, for at least, right? And at the end of the day, this movie really is going to be a revelation film, while having a lot of twists and turns and reveals that's going to have a lot of saga-wide implications and change our view of the past 8 Star Wars movies. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.